Imagine you're driving down the highway, you check your mirrors, glance over your shoulder, everything looks clear. You feel like you're totally in control. But out of nowhere, brakes screech because sitting right in your blind spot was a car you never saw coming. In a flash, you go from calm, under control, to swerving, rearing off course, or maybe getting severely injured. That's exactly how hidden beliefs and patterns work. You think you're in control. You think you're seeing the full picture. But the truth is, there are blind spots shaping your choices, your relationships, your leadership, without you even knowing it. These things are happening unconsciously even. These blind spots can derail your life and your goals in big ways and in small ways, personally and professionally. That's why the conscious woman knows it's time to open your eyes, adjust your mirrors, and get radically honest about what you haven't been able to see before now, what you haven't been able to see about yourself. But first, welcome to the sacred space. I'm Patty Ferreira, and this is Awakened and Rising. I mentor high-achieving women who want more conscious and aligned approaches to success. If you're new here, hit subscribe so you don't miss these conversations where we merge spiritual awakening, emotional intelligence, and high-level leadership. Now, let's talk about one of the biggest blind spots I see in high-achieving women, and that's over-relying on masculine patterns like control, doership, and mentalizing. These qualities aren't bad, don't get me wrong. They've helped you succeed, but they can also quietly become blind spots, especially when they're out of balance. For example, as a child, maybe you were praised for being responsible. You learned early that if you didn't hold it all together, everything would fall apart. As an adult, that turns into overfunctioning, doing it all, never delegating, and equating your worth with productivity. From your perspective, you're just being efficient. But the blind spot is you've lost touch with your feminine intelligence, your ability to go into flow, grace, and ease, to trust yourself, to create. Or maybe you've always been taught to think your way through everything. Get the data, be logical, could see the pros and cons list. You believe success comes from strategizing, planning, and knowing the how before you begin. But the blind spot is you end up stuck in your head, overthinking, second guessing, and ignoring the intuitive hit that could move you forward faster than any spreadsheet ever could. Or maybe you're in constant doership mode. Your days are packed with tasks, KPIs, and output. But when everything is a task, nothing feels inspired. You've cut yourself off from flow and creation, where new ideas, innovation, and joy are actually born. This is where feminine emotional intelligence comes in. Feminine intelligence isn't about abandoning structure. It's about knowing when to surrender control, when to soften into intuition, when to give yourself permission to create without a 5-step plan. It's the ability to ask, am I pushing because I'm afraid to pause, or am I moving because I'm truly inspired? It's honoring both your human need for structure and organization and your soul's need for expansion and joy, inspiration. Here's the cause and effect I see all the time in my clients when it comes to this. When you over-rely on control, you burn out. When you over-rely on strategy, you miss the joy and spontaneity that fuels true creation. When you ignore your feminine intelligence, you end up successful, but most often unsatisfied. But when you integrate both, when you let your masculine structure hold your feminine flow, you get a different result entirely. You create success that actually feels satisfying. You feel inspired, grounded, and aligned. So here's your reflection for this week. Where in your life are you over-relying on control, strategy, or doership? And what would shift if you paused, softened, and let your feminine intelligence lead instead? This is the kind of work we do in my program, From Blindspots to Brilliance, which has just relaunched as a self-led journey. It's for women ready to see the patterns they can't see on their own and to integrate their power in a whole new way. I'm gonna drop the link in the notes so that if you want to, you can learn more about this program. But whether you join us or not, your invitation is this: start noticing your blind spots. Start trusting your intuition. Start letting your feminine intelligence sit in the driver's seat every once in a while. Because sometimes the smartest move you can make is to stop forcing the how and start trusting the what if. Until next time, sending you much love. Mwah.